Millionaire's son brings home a black girl, what the mother sees in her. Necklace freezes her. Cold Judith Harrington was a woman of traditional money, crystal chandeliers, Harvard legacies, and a sprawling estate in Greenwich, Connecticut. She believed in maintaining appearances, in keeping standards, and though she'd never say it aloud, in preserving her son's path toward a suitable marriage. So when her son, Andrew Harrington III, brought home a guest for Sunday brunch, Judith was not prepared. The girl was black, beautiful, confident, and dressed modestly in a navy blue dress that hugged her poise more than her body. She introduced herself as Imani Brooks. Judith's smile was tight, her eyes sharp. Imani, that's unique. Yes, ma'am. It means faith in Swahili, Imani replied politely. Andrew beamed. She's finishing a dual degree in biomedical engineering and African history at Columbia. Judith raised an eyebrow. How diverse. But it wasn't just Imani's race or confidence that unsettled Judith. It was the necklace, a delicate, worn gold pendant that peaked just beneath her collarbone. The moment Judith's eyes caught it, her body stiffened. The air seemed to disappear from the room. That necklace, she whispered. Imani looked down, brushing her fingers over the charm. It was my grandmother's. She was a nurse in Vietnam. Judith's face went pale. She stood, walked to the fireplace, and took a framed photo down from the mantel. Slowly, she handed it to Imant. In the photo, a young black nurse, standing with a much younger version of Judith's late husband, Captain Thomas Harrington. That's my grandmother, Imani gasped. Nina Brooks. Judith nodded slowly, sitting back down like the weight of 50 years had just hit her. Your grandmother. She saved my husband's life in '69. He talked about her for decades. Said she held his hand when he thought he was going to die. Imani's eyes welled. She never talked much about the war. Just said she helped a soldier survive when no one else could. Andrew looked between them, stunned. Judith wasn't finished. He gave her a necklace. Said it had been passed down for generations. Said if she ever found us, she'd be family. Imani clutched the charm tighter. Speechless, Judith stood, walked over, and did something no one expected. She hugged her. Not a cold, performative embrace, but a real one. Tears streaked down her cheeks. Welcome home, Imani. I didn't recognize you at first, but I do now, Andrew whispered. Mom. She smiled softly. She's not just right for you, darling. She's part of us. That afternoon, the sun spilled golden light across the Harrington estate. But inside the great hall, something deeper than light was shining truth. Judith excused herself briefly, leaving Andrew and Imani in the sitting room, where whispers of history seemed to hum through the air. I had no idea, Imani said softly, turning the necklace over in her hands. Andrew reached out, brushing his thumb across her wrist. I didn't either. You've worn that necklace since the day I met you. I never knew it meant anything beyond, well, sentimental value. It meant survival, Imani whispered. My grandmother wore it every day until she died. Upstairs, Judith had pulled a faded box from the back of a cedar chest, sealed and untouched for years. Inside, letters, medals, and a journal. At the very bottom lay a folded piece of paper, yellowed and fragile. She unfolded it. A handwritten note. Dated August 3, 1969, scrawled in her late husband's familiar hand. If she ever finds you, know that she is gold. She held my life in her hands, and I owe her everything. She gave me faith when I had none. If you ever see that necklace again, welcome her in. She is family. Judith stared at it, eyes glistening, heart pounding, back downstairs. She returned, carrying the journal and the letter. Imani, she said, I want you to have this. She placed the note into her hands. Imani's eyes widened as she read it. I had no idea my grandmother meant this much to him. Judith smiled, though her lips trembled. Tom was a stubborn man, brave, yes, but prideful. Nina, your grandmother, was the only one who could calm him when he was scared. He never forgot her. Neither should we. She turned to her son. Andrew, I raised you to value tradition, but maybe I got too caught up in what that looked like and forgot what it meant. Tradition should be about honoring sacrifice, loyalty, kindness. Andrew looked at Imani and nodded. That's her. Judith took a breath. I was wrong to judge so quickly, and I won't make that mistake again. That night, they sat around the long dining table, Judith, Andrew, and Imani, laughing, sharing memories, and flipping through old photographs of Captain Thomas Harrington and Nurse Nina Brooks in the field, grinning like old friends. It turned out Judith had written Nina a letter in 1972, one that was never sent. Would you like to read it? She asked. Imani nodded, holding it with reverence. Dear Nina, I don't know if this will ever reach you, but if it does, thank you. You brought my husband back to me. I hope life has been kind to you. I hope you know you're remembered, and if by some miracle our families cross paths again, know there will always be a place for you in our home. Imani's hand trembled slightly. She must have kept this necklace close, because deep down, she believed you. Judith reached across the table and squeezed her hand. Weeks later, Andrew brought Imani to a Harrington Foundation charity gala. Cameras flashed, heads turned, and when a reporter asked, "Who is this lovely woman with you?" Andrew simply smiled and said, "She's the woman who brought my family full circle." And Judith. She stood tall beside Imani, proudly introducing her as part of the Harrington legacy, not because of her background, or her degree, or even her love for Andrew, but because of the woman who came before her, because of the necklace that bridged two lives, two worlds, and the promise that was finally kept.